Hello, hello, my pretties. It's me, your girl Iris, and I'm here with another Critics Collective. If I do seem a little somber, you guys, I am recovering from surgery, but of course, I'm so happy to be back and just talking about the new season of The Kardashians. If you don't already know, they are actually on season 7, and they just released episode 1. So, this episode, I want to say, was super, super cute. I think if you haven't already seen it, go watch it, come back, and then you can come and talk about it with me. Uh, First part I do want to get into in this episode is their little Devil Wears Prada nod with the momager. So Kris Jenner in the beginning of the episode, she does like this whole after they do the whole hey, this is what's happening this season. Um then it's like a little intro to the episode, and literally it's like Kris Jenner being Meryl Streep basically in this, and doing like a whole Devil Wears Prada, um, throwing her coat and her purse on the desk, and everybody's running. And then literally at the end of her skit, she's like, "Oh, why isn't everyone ready?" Or however she says it. It was really, really cute. It's Devil Wears Prada is actually one my favorite flicks. So I thought that incorporating that, it was interesting. I thought it was super cute. In this episode, of course, they do talk about the California fires. My prayers and condolences, for during that time period when that was all happening. It goes out, to them because, California suffers from that a lot out there. It's like every time I'm seeing stuff like that on the news of, brush fires and stuff like that. And it's California, I know, is a very beautiful, beautiful state, but it's like I'd be afraid to buy anything out there. That I'm afraid it's going to go up in flames, and buying anything out there is not cheap. So, um, they did mention that, which I did respects that they did bring that up. Um, Another quick tidbit from this episode, how Scott is thinking about moving to New York. Like, that's interesting, because as you know, he doesn't really have any other family like that, especially since his parents died. It's really just been Scott and, the Kardashian Jenner clan, and they've been his family basically all these years since he's lost his parents. Um, and if I could unpack this a little bit, at least in my opinion, in regards to his children, I think, yeah, when mommy lives in one state and daddy lives in the other, it's kind of like you have to float back and forth, which really sucks. Even though the kids are getting older, they have a better understanding of what's going on. It sucks, Um, but I would say that I can understand why Scott would be like, hey, thinking about moving to New York, having my own life outside of you guys, basically. Or at least that's what I took from it, because, Kourtney, she married someone else. She had a baby with with Travis. So it's like you can't hang on to your ex's family forever, I guess. Um, you know, I know I kind of understand his mindset in regards to like, yo, I don't, really have a life, I would say, out here other than his children, you know. And I believe, he has like a lot of friends in New York anyway. So, um, My take from it is that he may want to start over fresh somewhere new, even though, of course, New York isn't new to Scott, but he's been away from there for so long. I can understand, in regards to, hey, you know what? Let me go back. I got friends out there, do something separate outside of just being under basically Kourtney, his ex, is family, you know? And at least that gives the kids a reason to go to New York because, I mean, come on. Who doesn't want a reason to go to New York? I'm just saying. Um, Another part of this episode that I thought was interesting was the fact that Kourtney, they're creating a new gummy, right? And they're choosing Julia Fox as like the spokesperson from it. Now, as you know, if you're invested like I am, um, Julia Fox used to date Kanye. She dated him right after Kim. And I'm glad Kim is like, okay, that's fine. She could do it. Why would I feel offended if my sister has her endorse, her gummies? That's perfectly fine, which I thought was very adult because any other person would have been like, what the? Like, I mean, it's true. Come on. Like, do you really want any part of your family involved with your ex's ex? No, not really. I guess Kim is on a maturity level that I'm not on, but you know, excuse me. But yeah, I just wanted to give just a gentle shout out of that. And then, of course, one of the biggest pieces of this episode was the fact that the momager is selling, what's the house called? El Dorado. That was basically where they shot the whole keeping up with the Kardashians. We saw um, Kendall and Kylie really grow up in that house. Everybody and their mama done lived in that house practically. Um, so it's like, that house is like a big, big part of the family. But then it's crazy because at the end of the episode, Caitlyn comes, you know, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, comes and is like, hey, I bought the house. Okay, so it's still kind of staying in the family. It's just going from Kris Jenner to Caitlyn Jenner. So, I mean, I guess they're really not losing it. I mean, unless that's a joke. Like he's like, it was just, like Caitlyn was just saying that just to say that. Um, so I guess, I mean, are you really losing a home that you all shared memories in? Not really, I guess. So there really was no reason to get super, super emotional unless Kris didn't know that Caitlyn was going to buy it, so that it's actually going to still somewhat stay within the family. Oh, and one prime thing that I do have to mention that I thought was hilarious, how Kendall mentioned a lot throughout this episode, like, my mom was on child 5 and 6. It's like she didn't give a shit. Like I know she kind of was saying that as a hee hee ha ha kind of way, but at the same time, it's kind of sad because I felt like, do you need to unpack this? Did you really feel like your mom didn't care or wasn't worried about your well-being growing up because she was like exhausted by the time you and your sister came along? Um, I feel like there's something there. I feel like they need to, talk about that situation a little bit. Um, so I don't know. I just, no, I feel like Kendall's feeling some type of way, you guys. Kendall is feeling some type of way. And she was just like throwing these little jabs, at her mom, like, yeah, I did drugs there, and I, fucked somebody over there, like, and her mom's like, and where was I? Mom, you didn't care. Like, I know this is supposed to be reality TV, but maybe that should be a side conversation you guys have together. I'm just saying. But then again, we wouldn't enjoy watching as much as we do. But anyways, thanks you guys so much for just unpacking the first episode with me. Of course, like, subscribe, and comment down below. Tell me how you felt about this new season's first episode. Alrighty, thanks so much. And don't forget to like, subscribe here on the Critics Collective, especially if you want to keep seeing us. Thanks.